Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Dave's Top 3,000 Songs of the Rock Era. Today I'm up to song number 2511, and that one is Do You Love Me by the Contours. I think most of you guys are probably familiar with this song. It was used on the soundtrack to the very popular 1987 movie Dirty Dancing. It was actually a hit twice for the Contours. Originally a hit in 1962 when they recorded it, and later in 1988, the year after the soundtrack to Dirty Dancing was released, it was reissued. Went to number three originally in '62 and went to number 11 on the reissue. So, pretty successful hit song. Yeah, and there were several versions of this song. The Contours had the original version. It was a Motown. He had an early Motown hit. It was produced by and written and produced by the Motown founder Berry Gordy Jr. And he actually intended this song to be recorded by the Temptations, another big Motown act, a much bigger one than the Contours actually. But I guess he couldn't find the Temptations when he needed to record it, so he went looking for some other groups to record, and he found the Contours, and they recorded it and did a pretty amazing version of this song, I'd say. Probably should have put it higher on my list. I'm not sure why I put it at number 2511. Might have just been an oversight because it's a very well known song and it was a very popular song. And, like I said, it was used in the Dirty Dancing soundtrack. Here's the picture of the Dirty Dancing soundtrack. And I think you guys probably remember if you saw the movie when they played it, it was when Baby or Francis Houseman went to the Latin dance club into the kind of forbidden dance club of the workers at the Kellerman Resort where they were all, singing this song and dancing to it. Pretty great scene. Uh, but there were a couple other hit versions even way before this movie came out. Brian Poole and the Tremolos had a cover in 1963. They were an early British invasion band, not a really big one, but they had at least in England and I think three countries altogether, including the UK. This song went to number one, although I don't think it was even released as a single in the USA. But then the following year, 1964, another big British invasion band, a bigger one actually, the Dave Clark Five. They did a cover as well, and their cover was a hit in the USA. Went to number 11, I believe, in the USA. So pretty popular song, well covered, and a hit twice for the Contours. And now I think I just want to talk about the group, the Contours. Here's a picture of them. They didn't have a lot of hits. They were one of the early Motown acts. They got started in 1959. They were from Detroit, like a lot of the other Motown acts were. They were originally together from 1959 to 1968, and then they reunited in 1971, and they're still together, I believe. So they've had a very long history, and this was the original lineup, which included Joe Billingsley and Billy Gordon. They were both originally formed a group called the Blenders, and then they added Billy Hoggs, Leroy Fair, and Hubert Johnston, and together they became the Contours later that year. And I'll just go over their hits. So their first hit is the one I'm featuring today, Do You Love Me? That went to number three in 1962. They followed that up with Shake Sherry, which went to 43. In 1963, they had Don't Let Her Be Your Baby, which went to 64. 1964, they had Can You Do It, which went to 41. And Can You Jerk Like Me, which went to 47. In 1965, they had First Time I Look at the Purse, which went to 57. 1966, they had Just a Little Misunderstanding, which went to 85. In 67, they had It's So Hard Being a Loser, which went to 71. Finally, in 1988, like I mentioned, they had a reissue of Do You Love Me, which went to number 11. So those were the hits for the Contours. And I think they're a pretty good group. I think "Do You Love Me" is the only song by them that I've actually ever heard, but I think it's a good song, which is why I put it on my list. Anyway, that completes my profile of "Do You Love Me" by the Contours. Thank you for watching. You guys rock, and I'll see you next time. Bye.